Hey everybody, welcome back to Anthony's Horror More. Today I want to talk to you guys about two badass 90s thriller movies. And the first one is The Fan, brought to you by Mill Creek. Pretty bare bones release, but it's got a really nice slipcover, nice retro VHS slipcover there. You know, it's just no special features, just subtitles. That's it, so but it's not always about the special features. Sometimes it's just about the movie, and I'm telling you, The Fan is an excellent film. You gotta watch this movie. Robert De Niro gives a hell of a performance as like this obsessed Giants fan. He loves baseball, and he loves he wants to kind of relive his glory days, or at least the glory days that he feels like he had in his head and stuff like that. And he becomes obsessed with Wesley Snipes in the movie, who's a baseball player, playing for the Giants. He just got transferred over to the Giants there, for $40 million. They bought him. So, he's supposed to be a big deal. He's supposed to bring them lots of wins and all this stuff. And Wesley Snipes is great in the movie. He's kind of, he's got an ego, obviously. I mean, he just got $40 million, to get signed over to the Giants. And, he thinks he's the shit, but it turns out that Benicio del Toro, who also is in this film, is one hell of a baseball player, and he kind of shows up Wesley Snipes, quite a bit in the movie or whatever. So, Robert De Niro being obsessed and everything doesn't like that, and you just get so much. Robert De Niro, I love him as the villain. I love seeing him as this just like crazy, obsessed, nutbag in this movie. It's so, he plays that role so well. I love it. Kind of reminds me, it gives me like Joker vibes, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, and it's very serious. It's a lot more serious than I remember it being. A lot of 90s thrillers are known for being like kind of fun and whatever. This one, I wouldn't say it has some fun moments, but it's pretty serious, and you feel for Robert De Niro, even though he's, a psycho, he's crazy, but you still kind of feel bad for him. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil the movie for anyone that hasn't seen it or anything, but man, you got it. The thing I love about the 90s is you get great 90s soundtracks. And they feature a bunch of great songs in The Fan, but the one that they play over and over is Closer by Nine Inch Nails, and it's so fucking good. It fits the film perfectly. It's that perfect, like, creepy song that gets into your soul and just nests in there, and it just like it just amplifies Robert De Niro's performance. It just adds to that creepiness factor. It's just like, it just makes the film that much darker. I mean, Closer is a great song. So yeah, it's perfect. They also play it at the beginning of Seven, another one of my favorite movies. So yeah, great, and Robert De Niro, the more he's starting to lose it, he's kind of starting, you can hear like little voices, and then they blend in that like Nine Inch Nails Closer music with it, and it's so well done. I love it. And I just want to talk about the film because I feel like no one ever talks about it. It's just one of those 90s films that just kind of got lost and whatever, but man, great movie. So definitely check out The Fan. I think you'll really enjoy it. Yeah, and that's about it. I can't really say much more without giving anything away. But Robert De Niro is a knives salesman in the movie, who ends up, and this happens in the beginning of the movie basically, but he ends up losing his job and stuff, and that's kind of what makes him go even a little bit more crazy. Kind of like Falling Down, if you've ever seen Falling Down with Michael Douglas. It's got like a little bit of those vibes to it as well. But yeah, I would say. But yeah, you get to see Robert De Niro use some knives and stuff in the movie, and so it's cool, you know what I mean? It just adds a little bit more to the character, which also kind of reminded me of the Joker even more with the knives and stuff. So, but yeah, but anyway, check out The Fan. fantastic film, very underrated performance by Robert De Niro too. Like no one talks about it, and he is great in that movie. He's great. Next up, Fear. Another retro VHS from Mill Creek. Then you got the artwork there on the inside. Same thing. But yeah, man, Fear is great. You got Marky Mark, you know, very young Marky Mark, very young Reese Witherspoon. You got the guy, God, what's that actor's name? Let's see, what is that guy's name? William Peterson. Yeah, the guy from, oh, and it's got Alyssa Milano in it too. William Peterson, he's the guy from Manhunter. You know, if you guys have ever seen that. Yeah, great cast. Just really, really solid cast. But, man, this is another one of those, like, obsessed movies, like, where Mark Wahlberg is obsessed with Reese Witherspoon, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of funny that both these movies came out at the same time from Mill Creek, because they're both, like, kind of in that same vein, you know? But Mark, man, I'll tell you right now, Mark Wahlberg, this is another understated performance for sure. I mean, I love him as a villain in this movie. He's just so good at it. I mean, he's so, when he looks through that peephole, you know, by the end of the movie or whatever, and, you know, he's like, just let me in the fucking house, you know, and shit like that. Like, I mean, I'm not really spoiling anything with that, but, you know, it's just, he's such a good psychopath. I mean, I can't get over, and Reese Witherspoon's really good in this too. I'm like, Jesus, yeah, she was solid, you know. But they're both, the actors are really giving it their all, especially, you know, they're both so young and everything too, you know. They haven't done a whole lot, you know, so I thought it was great. You could see like, oh, okay, these are two people that are going places for sure, you know. But yeah, William Peterson, yeah, he's great as the father in this movie. But yeah, basically Reese Witherspoon, you know, young high school girl. She's playing 16 in the movie, and she goes to this club, you know, and it's, you know, she's having a good time. She's dancing and stuff like that, and you know, she sees Mark Wahlberg there, and the club ends up getting shut down because it's kind of like this underground club, and the cops come and they raid it, and Mark Wahlberg helps get Reese Witherspoon out of there, and they develop, you know, this relationship and stuff, and you know, he seems like a really nice, normal guy at first. You know, they're just going on normal dates, having a good time, and then you start to see these little subtle things, you know, where he's very controlling, you know, he tells her to do stuff, you know, like kind of commands it. You know, and the father notices it, but of course, Reese Witherspoon, her character, you know, she doesn't notice it. You know, she's just happy to be with this guy and everything. And, you know, and he's older, obviously. He's not in high school. He's older than her. I can't remember if they actually say his age. I guess he's probably in his, like, mid-20s or so, somewhere around there. Maybe a little older, but definitely not in high school, that's for sure. But yeah, it's just, and then, you know, he starts to get more and more aggressive, you know, he beats up a friend of hers, you know, and then accidentally gives her a black eye, and then it's just like, you just start to see things escalate slowly, and, you know, and it's so good. I mean, he's just, you know, I don't want to spoil the movie or anything, but it's just like, he does things in the film that you're just like, holy shit, you know, like Marky Mark, man, oh my God. You know, he just does, he plays, I mean, look at that face. Look at that face. You know, that sums up the movie perfectly. Yeah, and there's a great, like, I love, you know, the ending is really thrilling too at the house and everything. And, God, it's just, I mean, yeah, I can't really, I guess, you know, let's do spoilers on this one. We'll just, spoilers, if you haven't seen the film, just dip out now really quick. But, okay, spoilers. Yeah, so when the guys all come to the house, you know, in the third act or whatever, and they cut the head off that fucking dog, I was like, geez, and then they shove it through the doggy door, I was like, oh my God, this is just so brutal. And then the one guy gets the fucking drill through the hand, and, man, it's just brutal. It's really, really brutal. You know, the one guy gets shot in the head, friggin', you know, brains go all on the, you know, all over the wall. And I mean, there's just so many, like, man, that third act is wild. And then I love the dad, just, you know, the dad just keeps, you know, kind of getting his ass kicked by Marky Mark or whatever, but finally just like he has enough. You know, Reese Witherspoon, you know, stabs Marky Mark in the back, you know, really, you know, so he's hurt, and then the dad takes him and then throws his ass out the window. So cool. Another film, by the way, that has a great soundtrack. You know, this movie features Bush, songs by Bush, like Come Down and Machine Head, and it's just got another, that's the thing I love about the 90s, is you get these like amazing soundtracks and stuff. I think that's so good. You don't really get that as much anymore, but the 90s, they were filled with just awesome soundtracks. You know, and I really like the band Bush. I think they're great, and I really like Nine Inch Nails too. So, yeah, so you can't go wrong, man. You got to watch Fear. I mean, he's just such a nut job when he runs after that guy in the woods. You know, that poor kid, and you feel bad for it because you're like, God, he's just, I mean, he's kind of a simp, you know, but he's like, he's a nice guy or whatever. He's doing his thing, and fucking Marky Mark just comes charging at him in the woods, jumps on him, and fucking just snaps his neck, and then just like beats on him or whatever. Because you find out later, Alyssa Milano's character says that he was beaten to death, but what you actually see in the movie is he just jumps on him, and then it looks like he just snaps his neck. But my guess is he probably pounded on him for a while first. Oh, and speaking of that, you know, the famous scene where he's doing this, you know, and he's like hurting, you know, he's making it look like the dad hurt him and everything. And I mean, you know, there's just so many awesome moments in this. But like, of course, I didn't remember too much about the film, but I did remember this scene because that's just classic. And the peephole scene's pretty, you know, pretty iconic too. So, but man, I had so much fucking fun with Fear. And The Fan was good, but like I said, it was darker. It's a darker film. But this is like a fun movie. Fear is a really fun film. Like, it's a, you know, you're having a good time when you're watching it because he's just, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's just like, you know, all the characters in it are just so charming and stuff. You know, so yeah, great time. Definitely go buy these two movies. Like I said, they're both around $10, you know, so it's like, go get them, you know. But that's it, man. I just wanted to talk about those two films. I did a double feature, you know, of both of them tonight, and I just kind of wanted to come on here and let people know, like, check them out. They're great. But yeah, please, you know, hit the like button if you don't mind. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of Fear and The Fan. If you guys remember watching those or what. Yeah, let me know. But this is Anthony's Horror More, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.